everybody, welcome back to another video. Today is the day. We're gonna boil up these whitetail skulls and we're gonna get them all night. We're gonna do the peroxide method, so you've probably seen a ton of these, but we're gonna use the peroxide method to get these whitetail skulls nice and white so that they can be hung on the wall. I've got that 7-pointer here. So we're going to wrap up his antlers with some plastic wrap. We're going to tape over it with some tape so that water doesn't get sucked up into the antlers here. And then we're going to get them in the pot to boil. We're going to do the same thing with the little 5-point, but I'm just going to show you on this guy. All right, guys. So here's the first one wrapped up. We're just going to go ahead, put him off to the side. We'll get the other one wrapped up quick. All right, so I'll just show you how to wrap one of these up real quick because this guy's going to be pretty easy to do. You'll just grab your saran wrap, okay? Now, this is not the most high quality saran wrap I have here, so I like to kind of like twist this up at the bottom. And just grab your deer and deer head. I mean, like, it really doesn't like to stick to itself very much at all. But, and then really you're just, oh my God, yeah, this is really shitty. Okay, but you kind of get the idea, right? You're just trying to wrap this up the antler a bit and just give the antler some protection. And then go ahead and cut this off. All right. Get our tape. If you have wide tape like me, you can just put that down the center. Go. Just make sure you get this right at the base of the pedicle. Go. I'm gonna wrap this up and over. That's just to make sure that stays in place. So there you go, that's one side, and then obviously do the same on the other. Okay, and this water is at about 100 degrees right now. I'm gonna get the heads in now and get them started because it does take a while. It'll take about at least 2 hours. Maybe even a little longer than that, and we really want this temp up around 150, 180. So I'm just gonna get them started now, get that meat breaking down and get all that stuff going. All right, so these just came out of the boiler, and we're gonna pressure wash these. This is probably gonna be pretty loud, and I'm gonna have to keep the camera away from the pressure washer. So I'm gonna set this up over here and we'll get zoomed in on those as much as we can. All right, there we go. I am using a 25-degree tip. You don't want to use like the most narrow beam that you have, because if you do that, you will hurt the bone. So here we go. All right, so I didn't really demonstrate any of the pressure washing, but here's what they look like after being pressure washed. Definitely some mud and stuff on them, so I'm gonna give these a rinse, and then I'll show you what the next step is. All right, so this right here is an earbud, and the way to get the brain matter out is actually pop these earbuds open, and I do that. Just See? Okay, and then right here. There we go. Okay, now we're in there, and now we can really spray all that brain material out of there, and that'll all release and come out of there nice and easy. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Here's that air bud. Okay, let's get that popped off, and then there we go. All right, we'll do the same thing on this one. Came out really nice and easy. There you go. Okay. Do the same thing. On this side here. So now that's nice and opened up. And tomorrow, when we do our degrease, all that will just rinse out of there nice and neat. All right, guys, so we're back. We're back for our second boil. This is a degreasing boil. And basically, we're looking for this temp to be between like 150 and 175. You want a pretty calm hot water. So what we'll do here, we're gonna let these go for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. We'll come back out, pressure wash them again. That should get the remainder of the that'll get the remainder of the meat and brain matter off of there. It'll also help prevent the skull from yellowing over time. So what I do is I just add Dawn dish soap just until the water takes on a little bit of a blue tinge, and then I know I'm good to pop these back in. Antlers are all still wrapped up from last night, so I don't have to worry about that. We'll pressure wash them, and then we'll start our peroxide boil, and that'll be the final step. So we are about 10 minutes away from the heads being done. So we're going to mix up our solution. So this is our peroxide. This is going to be our whitening agent. We're going to add 1 gallon of this to this 5-gallon pail. So there's our peroxide. We're just going to get this filled all the way up to the top with water. When we take the heads out to power wash them, we'll dump the pot out and we'll put this into the pot, and we'll start bringing this up to temp so we can do our boil in the peroxide to get the whitening started. Alright, so as you can see, our tape and our saran wrap has gotten a little bit beat up. So I actually just grabbed my tape and this is the bleaching part. So this is a part that's going to bleach the skull white, and you really don't want that to get on your antlers. You'll have to either paint them, or some guys saran wrap under this. I don't really think you need to, because this is just basically electrical tape and it'll come off just fine. There we go. We're gonna get him in, make sure that whole head is nice and submerged and comfy in there. Right, you really want to get that whole skull down in there nice and deep. So now we got these guys in the pot. Apparently I don't have quite enough water in there. Now we are going to let this pot, we're going to let this get hot enough that the peroxide comes up to a rolling boil. So that should be about 30 minutes or so. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. Alright, so here's what they look like. This is not even after the final rinse. This is just what they look like right now. So I don't think I actually need the pressure washer at all, because there's not hardly anything left on here. Yeah, that's all just, I think that's saran wrap. I don't think that's meat. Yeah, that's saran wrap. But you guys can see how nice and shiny and white these are. We're just gonna give them just a quick rinse, just to make sure. All right. So we're just gonna go give them one more dunk in the peroxide solution, and then we'll set them out overnight to dry. All right, so I just wanted to do this this final reveal for you guys out in the sunlight. So we got Gwen and we got Lily, and we're just gonna take the tape off the antlers here. I just wanted to show you guys what these look like all finished up. Trusty Havalon back, make this a little quicker. So there was still a little bit of meat under the antler pedicle. So I'm just gonna take my knife and scrape that out of there. So there's one all finished up. All right, so there they are. These are the two I did. I wanted to show you this one. So this is my first ever buck. This one in the middle here, that was actually beetle cleaned. So you can see that one is just slightly more yellow than the ones that were peroxided. There you go. So that is how to DIY prepare and bleach your skull for Euro mount.